Good morning. My name is Anne Foxley-Johnson and I run the Anti-Bullying Company. I hope you're okay and you're doing well in these very strange times. With this in mind, myself and ROSES, the Rotherham Schools Improvement Service, have put together a bit of online training for you. So I'm the guinea pig, so hopefully you'll enjoy it and find it interesting. I should have been delivering this course, All Different All Equal, Planning a Diversity Week in May at Rockingham, but obviously can't do that. So here I am. All you'll need for my training is very simple. You might need one of these. You might need some of these. Possibly one of these, but definitely one of these. I'll be making all the notes from today's training available for you to download, so you can just sit back and relax. If you have any questions following the training, I'm thinking about doing some sort of online question, Zoom or Facebooky, whatever thing. So I'll let you know. And if you'd like to sign up for that, I can give you my email address at the end and we'll see about having a chat. So let's think about what the objectives of today's course are. Well, firstly, what are you going to learn? Well, I would like you to understand the protected characteristics of the Equality Act. They'll come in mind, bearing in mind rather, that this is included in this documentation. The new health education, as you can see, mine's all been highlighted beautifully. I don't want you to know that back to back. You might do already, but I'll send you the link so you can be having a look at that over these next few weeks. I'm going to show you and hopefully share with you some really good practice from other schools, and I want you to go away from this session, have some sort of overview of how your diversity week is going to look in your school. Okay? Are you sitting comfortably? Because I'm going to start with a story. Once upon a time there was a great city called Glum that stood beside a lake in the kingdom of Bung. In the centre of the city was a castle where the king lived with his only daughter, Christina. The king could no longer walk, but he was often seen being pushed around the city in a white-wheeled chair by his servants. Christina was a popular princess, happy and always willing to help others. The people of Bung often commented that she would make a good queen. Now, as it so happened, as well as the king, his daughter and the subjects, there lived in the kingdom of Bung 2 witches. Groga, an ugly, disfigured witch, lived on the other side of the lake in a dark, damp cave. Gwendolen, a beautiful witch, wore a gown that sparkled with the light of 1,000 crystals, lived in a house to the west. On the 10th anniversary of Groga's arrival, the king was wheeled onto his balcony, where he addressed those gathered below. "Who will rid my kingdom of my arch-enemy Groga?" he asked. "Many brave men have ventured forth on this mission before, but none that I have sent have returned. Do any of you have the courage to complete this deed?" Well, the crowd included knights from all the surrounding lands. Their proud horses neighed at the ruler's words. But only one in the crowd spoke out, a stranger who had arrived the day before. "I will kill her," said the stranger, "in return for your crown." The king replied, "That is too much to ask, but I will give you half of all the gold in my treasury, in the city treasury, if you rid the kingdom of her." The stranger accepted the offer and went to see the beautiful Gwendolen. Gwendolen was impressed by the stranger's boldness, and she agreed to help in return for a share of the king's gold. She went into another room where she mixed a strange potion. This she poured into a small green bottle. "This will give you the power of 10 men," she said, handing the potion to the stranger. The stranger travelled from Gwendolen's house to the dark caverns on the opposite side of the lake, where Groga, who had seen her fate in a crystal ball, was waiting. "So you have come, as many men before you have," she said, "seeking the king's favour?" They fought for many hours, but Groga was no match for her adversary. Eventually, tired and exhausted, she agreed to leave the kingdom forever. The stranger returned to the city, to claim the promised reward. The end. Well done. That was good active listening. Now, if you pick up your little post-it post now, I'm going to ask you a series of questions. And all I want you to do, they're numbered 1 to 15, and I would like to write true or false, or a T or an F. Okay? Are you ready? The city was called Bung. The city was ruled by an old king who could no longer walk. The castle was in the centre of the city. Grogu was a wicked witch who lived on the cave on the other side of the lake. Princess Christina was very beautiful. The stranger was a knight from far away. Question 7. The stranger wanted to be made king in return for killing Grogu. 8. The king offered the stranger a great fortune instead. 9. A good witch lived to the west of the city. 10. The stranger agreed to give Gwendolyn half his gold if she helped him. 11. Gwendolyn mixed a potion, which she poured into a green bottle. 12. The stranger rode from Gwendolyn's house to Grogu's cave. 13. Grogu had killed many men before. 14. Grogu's magic was no match for the stranger. And 15. The stranger used a magic potion to defeat Grogu. Okay, shall we see if you were right? Was the city called Bung? No. The city was called Glum, but it was in the kingdom of Bung. The city was ruled by a king who could no longer walk. A lot of people. True, false? Actually, we weren't told he couldn't no longer walk. We were told he was pushed around in a white wheelchair. Perhaps he was a bit lazy. 3. The castle was in the centre of the city. Yeah, true. Grogu was a wicked witch who lived. What do we think? We weren't told she was wicked. We was told she was ugly and disfigured. I'm sure now the penny's dropping about where this story is going. Number 5. Christina was really beautiful. Again, she was described as a popular princess, happy and always willing to help others. Doesn't say she was beautiful. And I'm going to do one more with you. The stranger was a knight from far away. Well, didn't say he was a knight. There was only one in the crowd that spoke out. So what does that story teach us? Well, it teaches us, I'm sure, a lot of you, the penny's dropping. We make assumptions. We assume somebody's beautiful because they're popular and they're the princess. We assume somebody can't do something because they're pushed around in a chair. What that story explores is our assumptions and our preconceived stereotypes. This is a really good activity if you were starting your diversity week, because if you use this with, say, years 5 and 6 and ask the questions, it's really interesting. You can see where the children are before you start your learning. I'll make this available for you with the answers to download following this session. So, thank you very much. Good listening. Sip of coffee required. Okay. In the next section, I'm going to talk to you about, coffee a minute, some stereotypes. So, have a little minute and we'll restart. Okay. I keep mentioning these protected characteristics, so I'm going to refer to them quite a lot. The protected characteristics are what's focused on in the Equality Act 2010. And the document states that protected characteristics in schools It is unlawful for school to discriminate against a pupil or prospective pupil by treating them less favourably because of their sex, race, disability, religion or belief, sexual orientation, gender reassignment or pregnancy or maternity. So, what we do in our diversity weeks is we focus on those characteristics. Well, not all of them, and I'll come to that. The key words that I wanted to think about throughout this session are, firstly, really make sure that your pupils understand the word discrimination. So discrimination means treating a person or particular group of people differently, especially in a worse way from the way in which you treat other people because of their, and we can link that to protected characteristics, so it might be their skin colour, it might be their sexuality, it might be their race, it might be their gender. And it's something that I always say on the first day of all your diversity weeks of learning is to have these keywords on there. And ask children to think about how people are discriminated against. So are they treated differently? Are they treated unfairly? And I don't mean do people get privileges like I'm allowed to stay up later because my big sister's old, because I'm older than my little sister. It's unfairly and by law. And again, you don't need to know the Equality Act inside now, but if you just think about those protected characteristics, which are here, and I can make this available to you, it's a really good visual for you to think about. So that's your starting point. What I'd like you to do now is to, in your notebook, write just a few notes about your school setting and where you think your main needs are. You may not have to cover all those protected characteristics. Many schools that I work with just focus on a couple and do them really well, and I think that's really good. I'm going to share with you in the second part of this video some really good ideas that other schools have come up with, so I'll see you in a bit.